Okay, hello everybody. First off, I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people who are the traditional custodians of this land. I'd also like to pay respects to the elders, both past and present, of this land, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians who are present. Hi everyone, my name's Fiona. On behalf of Wildlife Victoria, I'd like to welcome you all. Today is a mixture of a lot of things, a mixture of sadness, a mixture of anger. People are feeling all sorts of things. But above all, I guess, it's left us with wanting answers really as to the final fate of what happened to these 21 kangaroos. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Fiona Rowley, who's from Wildlife Rescuers. They're a northern network of Wildlife Victoria. Fiona has been involved for 4 years in this struggle in trying to get the kangaroos relocated. Fiona, along with myself and a number of others here today, we're also on the South Morang Kangaroo Working Group Committee, but Fiona will probably fill you in about that as well. So please welcome Fiona Rowley.
Hello everyone, thanks very much for coming. Can everyone hear me okay at the back? Yep. Okay, a common question I get from people is, how the hell did you get involved in all of this stuff, and why are you so interested in saving these kangaroos? And I have to take them back to when I first moved to this area, which was about 5 years ago. I was amazed every day I would see some sort of kangaroo, whether it be one hopping past my house, one dead on the side of the road, or one hopping through shopping centres. And I started ringing people and trying to get assistance and find out who was supposed to help these animals. And I soon realised that no one is really helping them. There's lots of people out there that will say they do stuff for animals, but when it comes to the crunch, no one really wants to rescue these animals or really help them in any way. So the more and more I started getting involved, I started going to training sessions, I started learning how to rescue these animals. And then I was amazed when I read in the local paper that the DSA had engaged a consultant with the developer to move these kangaroos, and they tried for 3 months. And for 3 months, they only caught 3 kangaroos. And I was gobsmacked. I thought, these people are professionals. They are supposed to be experts. Why the hell can they not catch these kangaroos and do it safely and get them out of here? I started asking questions. I started going to council meetings. I started asking questions of our local MP, of our government, and everyone come up with the same thing. Thanks very much, Fiona. Keep up the good work, but it's not really our problem. Everyone passed the buck to someone else. And I couldn't believe it. We had so many important people, stakeholders, that have to take responsibility for these animals and their welfare, and no one was putting their hand up. That's why we got the South Morang Kangaroo Management Working Group together. And lots of people come along, and they all had valuable input, but at the end of the day, it comes down to 3 options. We either leave these kangaroos here, we either move them, or what's happened, they've been culled. Obviously, killed, slaughtered, yeah. Obviously, we really tried hard to get these animals relocated. We tried so many things. We researched, we provided options. It was not about money. We got petitions signed and they got sent into Parliament. We had like over 1,200 local people here in 1 month sign a petition to say we want these animals to be relocated. We don't want to hear the stuff about culling. Until you try other methods, there is no excuse for you to cull these animals. For me, I knew this day was coming. I'm really sad that it did, and I was shocked when I got the voicemail message on my phone to say, Fiona, guess what? We culled the kangaroos months ago and you didn't even know and we didn't even tell you. That was probably one of the worst days of my life. My stomach just sank and I thought, bloody hell, what next? So for me, today, yeah. I want to personally apologise to the kangaroos that lived here. I'm sorry that our planning laws did not protect you. I'm sorry that as a society we care more about houses and shopping centres and roads than what we do about animals. I'm sorry the DSC wouldn't let us relocate you. And I'm sorry that the government just thinks the only way to manage wildlife is with bullets. I promise those animals have not died in vain, and I will fight to the end of my life to make sure it doesn't happen again in the future.
and I urge you all to help us. Thank you.
We welcome Irving Reid. Thanks, everybody.
This is a lament for the Mandaroos. Kangaroo, kangaroo, oh, we are so proud of you. Emblazoned on our coat of arms, flying high on our Qantas charms, with open plains and skies so blue, your bounding, boundless freedom's cue. Kangaroo, kangaroo, oh, let's make a buck or two. Buck for a buck and doe for a doe. That's the rule the rednecks know. We'll slaughter you on roads and farms, make pet food of your tails and arms. Behind closed doors your fate is sealed by bureaucrats and folk well-heeled, developers and politicians, doyens smart of privatising missions. Kangaroo, kangaroo, exquisite creature, teach us how to live and share this land right now. Yours the way of humble sharing, nurturing young with gentle caring. Kangaroo, kangaroo, could we learn to love like you?
You know, when someone calls me or my actions humane, I'm starting to get a little bit embarrassed. I don't know about you guys. Supposedly, we as humans have a greater capacity for empathy with animals. So we have a capacity to be humane. The government said that they killed these animals because they were running out of water and they were running out of food. Their version of humanity cost their lives. Let's kill them to save them. You know, we will prevail. We will get justice and we will get ethical results for our wildlife. Do you know what the difference between government and you and I? The difference between government and you and I is that 5 o'clock on Monday to Thursday and about 4 o'clock on Fridays, I think, the DSC pack up their offices and they go home. And do you know what happens when they get home? They walk in the door and they forget about the wildlife. They sit down and they forget about the wildlife. The difference between you and I and the government is that when we get home, we don't forget about the wildlife. When we get home, we still care. We'll prevail. I'm going to ask you also to take part in writing your own message on one of these representative kangaroos over here. To write or draw or do whatever you like to express your despair and your anger at what has happened to our kangaroos here. We can't let the government get away with this. They must know that there is actually consequences to their actions. What are we going to do? Well, we're demanding that the government include independent welfare into their management practices with community consultation so that our community is not just left like this, bereaved of our animals. We demand that we are responsible as humans for taking over the land that's traditionally inhabited by our native wildlife, and that wildlife is not made to suffer because of our actions. We demand that other landlocked kangaroos in this area are left, that they are protected from this government slaughter,